It is Cassius who asks the question, how many ages hence shall this our scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? Now it is a question that, due to the pernicious cruelty of time, we can never be privy to its answer. It is my hope, though, that the achievements of the band of brothers who have shared the stage with me for these 25 years will not be scattered on the wind and lost in the sands of time. It is my hope that many unborn states and accents yet unknown will come to celebrate, embrace, and enhance what it was that we poor actors, strutting and fretting our hour upon the stage, did during our time. Richard, it is my fervent hope that, though it is my name under the title of the play, it is your name that will be never forgotten as he who first embodied so many of our characters in the flesh. It is to never be forgotten that it was you who grabbed up my pages and created Dickie the Crookback Fiend and called out that line that brought us both such instant stardom, yelled down every street by every grubby little urchin, a horse, my kingdom for a horse." It is my most urgent wish that it never be forgotten that it was you who molded the clay and sculpted the bosom of the air Romeo, transformed to an oyster Benedict, and bore tribute to my father and my son in your Hamlet. It's your wisdom that inhabits the more sinned than sinned against Lear. It is your brilliance that crowns the magnificence of, it is the cause, my soul, the more. I know that I, for one, whilst memory still holds a seat in any distracted globe, shall, as my son's namesake say, remember thee. Now, many of you don't know that I actually wrote Othello because the now meteoric star Richard challenged me. "Will, write me a part I can't play." A black commander-in-chief of the state of Venice who runs off with the governor's young white daughter, I believed would do the trick. However, Richard, not only did you play the part, you have come to make the Moor one of the most magnificent parts ever embodied on a stage. When I first came to our magnificent pisspot of a city, and I crossed that humongous shopping mall that is London Bridge, with its festering decapitated heads swinging from the breeze, I was but a punk from a small market town in the heart of Warwickshire. My father had been the mayor, but then he'd lost all his money because of his religious beliefs. So what brought me to this fabled gold-paved streets of Dick Whittington City was the determination that not only would I get the money back, but I would regain my family's honor. I was determined that the Shakespeares would attain the noble rank of gentlemen, as embodied by the possession of a family coat of arms. I had no idea how I was going to do this. All I had was the horse I rode in on, clothes on my back, and a play script in my bag. The story of two sets of twins. I am myself the father of twins. Well, I was until my son Hamlet died. The story of two twins who erroneously go running around Ephesus trying to find each other. It was your father, Richard, James Burbage, the godfather to us all, who first took a chance on me. He gave me my first job. Not acting. Oh, no. No, I had to earn the right to stand with my brothers on this stage. My first job was holding the horses' heads outside the theater. Yep, I was the world's first valet. I shoveled horseshit, while the Ponzi theater goers went on inside to get drunk on the meter of the meteor that had suddenly streaked across London skies. And what a star he was. Hola, ye pampered jades of Asia! The whirlwind who took me under his wing and taught me the secrets of our beloved blank verse, Kit Marlowe. Without Kit, there is no Bard of Avon, as Johnson, Taffeta Punk, likes to sardonically call me. Without Kit, There's no Henry VI, there's no Shylock, there's no Hamlet, there's no Macbeth, there's no Othello, there's no Lear, there's no Coriolanus, there's no Prospero. And it is why I thank you, my brothers, that you allowed me to pay tribute to our kit on the opening night of our newly erected Globe in the role of Rosalind. Our beloved gay Ganymedes would have been unhumbly proud. Not one to mince his words, our Kit. I recall that when I was running petrified that Green was running around London accusing me of plagiarism, Kit put forth, "Fuck 'em, Will. When they accuse you of stealing their shit, just tell them, I didn't steal it, I borrowed it." Thank you, Kit, for I certainly borrowed a great deal from you. Luckily for me, after Kit's tutelage, it turned out that I have a certain knack for turning out a blank phrase, and I was not damned to shoveling horse shit in hell for eternity. Following Henry VI's success, I wrote another blockbuster, that travesty of gore, Titus Andronicus. Johnson, you need to get over it, Ben, yabbered on at me the other day, "Will, bloody Andronicus is still being played 25 years after you wrote the bloody thing." You know, Ben, I hope they're still playing that monstrosity 408 years from now, if we haven't gone and destroyed our globe before we get there. Anywho, Titus made a mint of money, so much so that James yanked me from the dung heap outside and allowed me to indulge in my desperate desire to act with his son. The only condition, I churn out blockbusters, which I did, bringing me to this evening and to your tribute to my work. 38 plays, pretty good. Who knows? Perhaps one day you'll put them all together and bind them up in a big book. Complete works, as it were. Ben is doing that with his as I speak. I know. But you know Ben. I told him, "Ben," I said, "are you off your rocker? They're plays, Ben, plays. They're not pieces of literature. Who the hell is going to want to sit down at a fireside and read a play?" You know what he says? Blew me away. Latin old fart actually came up with something worth repeating. He says, "Well, they're not plays, they're memories. They're a map of who we as fellow human beings are, were, and will be. Plays, as your own Hamlet tells us, Will, are a mirror to our nature. In the end, Will, memories is all we have. And it is our obligation to leave our plays, our memories, to our great-granddaughters and grant them the opportunity to hold them up and reflect upon their own natures with the aid of our verse." I was duly impressed. And my dear brothers and sisters, that is exactly what I intend to do. I hereby announce that The Tempest will be the last of my plays. I thank you all from the deepest chambers of my heart for the companionship that you have extended to this young punk from that market town in Warwickshire who trepidatiously trudged across that intrepid bridge all those many, many years ago. But it's time for the punk to go home and live out the rest of his days with his wife and his 2 daughters. It's time, as Prospero says, for this punk to abjure my rough magic, break my staff, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, drown my book. For my dear friends, my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own. Now, I want spirits to enforce, and art to enchant. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free. I leave you with this hope. When I achieved the coat of arms that restored my family's honor and now allows me to attach the term gent after my name, I was asked by the clerk to come up with a motto for my crest. I settled on a French phrase, non sans droit, not without right. Because my crest is golden, Ben refers to it as not without mustard. But my cherished friends, I pick this moniker because it is my hope that when, hopefully, those accents yet unknown, in those states yet unborn, act out the plays that we created, and they say the honor that is bestowed upon us for our work, and yes, for my plays, is not without right. Thank you.